Oh, they're not hearing. That's good.
Good morning and welcome, and hello to anybody that's joining us live and those of you that are listening afterwards. I'm Tracy Jane Hughes from Manage Those Things, and I run the Business Cheerleading Club as well. And I'm delighted today to welcome Sharon Gaskin from the Trainers Training Company, who I've known for a while, and I've loved listening to Sharon's story about how she grew her business around juggling her very, very busy family. And it resonates with me quite a lot because I have a busy family as well. And in fact, it's interesting that we're doing this this week, Sharon, because it's half-term week for us. I've got 2 teenage boys, and I've literally just had to tell them to stop streaming and whatever they were doing so that we could actually have our conversation. So Sharon, for those people that don't know you, just tell us a little bit about the Trainers Training Company.
Okay. Well, first of all, lovely to be here this morning, Tracy. So thank you for inviting me. Trainers Training Company has been going since 2009, and basically what it exists to do is to help freelance trainers with their marketing. Most freelance trainers that I know anyway love the bit when they're in the training room doing the training, but they don't like doing the marketing quite so much. Some of them do, but they are probably in the minority. And I kind of realised through my own experiences of being a freelance trainer myself, and particularly in the first year, that's a long time ago now, I started my training business in 2002, that, it is really hard. And I didn't know anything about marketing. Why would I? Why would I be expected to do? Because I was a trainer. So, so I kind of learnt it the hard way. And as I was sort of reflecting on that a few years sort of further down the line, I thought to myself, wouldn't it be nice if there was a website you could go to or a resource that you could tap into that would be just for trainers. And so that's what I did. So that's what I did. And everything that I do, all the sort of programs, products, the work that I do is all geared around that, is about helping freelance trainers to find their way in this sort of scary business world and go out there and get some work.
Yes, and I think that's one of the things, isn't it? That there's lots of things in business that we enjoy doing, and we often have a passion for doing something, and that's what we focus on. But then there's all these other things that need to happen. We need to do our marketing, because if we don't do that, then we don't get new clients. And we also need to do our bookkeeping, which is one of the scary bits that people just don't like doing. But if we don't know what we're doing,
exactly,
we're not going to have a business going on.
Yeah.
So Sharon, you sort of changed your focus of your business.
Yeah.
At sort of a point in time.
Yeah.
Can you just share what you did and why you did it? Because I think that's just it's brilliant for other people to know that you can change. You don't have to stick in the same way.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I started my business originally in 2002, and it was and at the time my children were 4 and 2, so they were really small. And the reason why I did that was we moved up from, we're living down in West Sussex. My husband got a job in Birmingham. And so we moved up to the Midlands, and I left a really good job behind. And I was about to kind of apply for another one. And I just suddenly thought, oh my God, my eldest is just about to go to school. And, they're going to have 13 weeks holiday a year and finish at 3 o'clock and all that kind of stuff. And so really, do I want to be having a proper job? So it just seemed to be a perfect time to do something that I'd always wanted to do for years, which was to start on my own and to go freelance. So I did that. And as I sort of said, my first year it was really hard, and I did lots of associate work for rubbish money and all that kind of thing, and I was still learning my way around marketing. but but eventually I did find it, and I stopped all the associate work and got clients on my own and all that stuff, which was great. And that was all going along, sort of fine for about 7 years. And that brought me up to 2009. And in 2009, a couple of things sort of came together, really. The first thing was that I had this, as I say, this sort of reflective time just to think about, going back to when I started my business, how hard it was. Wouldn't it be nice if there was something just for trainers? And I decided to do something about it. And I sat down and I wrote a book. I said a book. It was an ebook, and it's still on the website now. And it's called How to Launch a Training Business in 30 Days. And in that book, I just sort of poured everything that I knew or that I'd learned about this business of setting yourself up as a freelance trainer. And then I got this sort of one-page website, and I came up with a name, the Trainers Training Company, and I stuck this ebook on the website, and then I did nothing with it because I was just there. It was just sort of this thing. Because the reason why I didn't do anything with it was I was busy with my other business, and I didn't really know whether anybody would be that interested in it, to be honest. I was kind of like, well, really? Does anybody? Well, they might be interested, but would anybody buy it? Is there actually enough there to have a business? And so, really, there probably wasn't. So I didn't do anything with it. So, and then the other thing that happened was that my second child, my son, was about 9 at the time, about 8 or 9, and he was playing a lot of tennis. And he was really quite good, and then the LTA got involved, and then they said, he needs to go to this high performance centre in Birmingham and all that stuff. And that was great, but that meant I had to pick him up from school every day at 12:30, basically. So by the time I'd sort of got up in the morning, taken the kids to school, walked the dog, got back here for sort of 9 o'clock, I basically had about 3 hours to do things. And I just thought, well, I can't, clearly I've got to change something, because also at that time I was running my training workshops, all over the country, traveling and stuff like that. So I thought, well, in order to do this and to support this sort of tennis thing, I need to do something different with my business. I need to reinvent myself. And so while I was thinking about this, I suppose the third thing that happened was that in 2009, all the kind of stuff that we take for granted now these days, the online world, and email marketing and all that stuff was just really sort of coming on board. And I could see that there would be possibilities for me to reinvent myself and work from home. And I thought, oh, well, I've got this thing, this one-page website thing, and I've got this germ of an idea, and maybe that's my answer to it. And I didn't really know whether it was, to be honest, but I just thought, well, I can't be a lady that lunches. I've got to have this. So, I need to do something with it. So I took a massive leap of faith and basically just closed my other business down completely. Gave away all the work that I had booked to other people. Okay. Very happy. And then all of a sudden I had this thing, this one-page website, this so-called business that I was going to develop online. I had no idea I was going to do it, and it was quite scary, really. But that's how it started.
So, what sort of made you? What was it that gave you the confidence, Sharon, to have that leap of faith? Because I think there's lots of people that will understand exactly where you were at that time, but a lot of people don't take that step, don't take that leap. What was it?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I did it with any degree of confidence. I literally went from having a business that was I was earning whatever it was, 60, 70, 80,000 a year and even that it was a part-time business, so that was great.
Yeah.
To nothing. And in the first year of the training company, my turnover was 10,000. So it was, yeah. But so I didn't do it with a great degree of confidence. But what I did feel was that I didn't really have a lot of choice. As I said,
Okay.
I couldn't be a lady that lunches. We had to have an income coming in, but also it had to be an income that would work around my son because, I wanted to support him in his tennis. I know that your children are, involved in sport as well. And also with my daughter, she's now at university. She's completely different. She's really academic and all the rest of it. And obviously we have our children, and we want to do everything in our power to help them realise their potential, whatever that may be. Yeah. And so I didn't ever see it as it was kind of like a no-brainer, really. It was like, okay, well, I've got to support them. I've got to support Ryan. I need money coming in. I can't work in the old way because I couldn't pick him up for school every day. So there has to be another way. So it was kind of, it was really scary, but something that I didn't question. I just absolutely had to.
Yeah. And I think it's brilliant, Sharon, that it sounds like you didn't know the answers. You didn't know what it was going to do or look like, or it was just, I know I've got to let go of this way of doing things because that's not working for our family.
Yeah.
But I know I need to do something, and I've got all of these ideas, and I'm just going to try it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And did it feel like you were trying stuff out all the time?
Yeah. I mean, when I look back, it was really sort of one step at a time, and things sort of kind of grew and developed. I mean, I knew I had to do something for trainers to help them with the marketing, and so I had this ebook, and then I thought, oh, maybe I could run a course. And I remember sort of, run a course. I think that's supposed to have a business. Oh, I think I'll run a course, but it was as basic as that. I mean, I hadn't really thought of it,
Yeah.
And I remember having a cup of coffee with somebody who had just started out as a freelance trainer. And I said to her, look, if there were two courses available, and one was how to create a successful business, and the other one was how to create a successful training business, which one would you go for? And she said, well, it's a no-brainer, the second one. And I'm like, oh, well, would you come to this course if it was up? She was like, yeah. I was like, okay, all right, I'll write a course. So I developed this course, how to create a successful and profitable training business for trainers to help them with their marketing. And again, it was like, well, I booked a venue, and if one man and his dog comes, then that's a start. That's how I looked at it. And that is exactly what I did. And I did it at this hotel just down the road. I think I got about 6 people to that first workshop. And so then I ran one, and then I ran another one and another one. And then it was like, okay, well, I've got this is my starting point.
Yeah.
And then from that, once I started to run the courses, well, funnily enough, another thing happened. Again, something that I didn't think of, it just happened. So I had written this course, and it was very much for, new freelance trainers coming out to the market. They were good trainers, but they didn't know anything about marketing. And then when I started to run the course, I found that I was getting more people coming to the course who'd have their businesses for years, even longer than that.
Yeah.
I'd done my business for like 7 years, and like I'd go, you go around on the first session, you go, tell me about yourself. I go, oh, well, I've had my business for 10 years. And I'm like, what are you doing here? And I realised that there were an awful lot of people who had got these training businesses, were struggling with them, or had not really done any marketing, or had got, done loads of associate work, and then it had all dried up, and they were looking for ways to get money, and they were coming to these courses as well. And I thought, oh, well, maybe that's like another market for me now. I've got two markets. I've got like these new people, and then I've got these people who have businesses for years. So that was a bit of a shock. And then from that, then other things started to happen from that. So then I started to get people who come on the course, and then they'd gone away and they'd done all their action plans, and then 6 months down the line they hadn't actually done anything. And then they sort of, and because I kept in touch with them after the course, they then came back to me and they were like, "Oh, Sharon, all that was great on the course, and I took away loads of ideas. The problem is I haven't done anything with them." So then I started to work with people one-to-one as a business mentor to help them actually, move those ideas into action and do something with them. And then that led on to, okay, well, I could do group mentoring programs as well. So I invented a program called Success Shapers, where then freelance trainers would work in a group over a period of time. But again, we did all that remotely. Although it was really funny, actually, I was thinking about this the other day, Tracy. In those days, and it's only like 7 years ago, 2009, a bit longer than that. And in those days, when I did my Success Shapers programs, we used to do them over the phone on something called Instant Teleseminar. Do you remember that?
Yes.
We couldn't see each other, but we could all hear each other. We just do it over Zoom, and everybody can see each other. So it's really, but yeah, so that happened, and then of course, and then the other thing that happened, then I developed Trainer Talk, which I have to say was my idea, not something that just happened, because I had got this, again, through my own experiences. I knew how lonely it was, being at home, and I also knew how false some of the networking events could be. Like you go networking, and then everybody was just in their business cards. And they will go, "Oh, and how's your business, Sharon?" And I go, "Oh, yeah, it's wonderful. How's yours?" "Oh, yeah, it's wonderful." All that kind of stuff.
And you're going, "No, it's not."
No, it's not, but I don't feel I can tell anybody, So I just felt there was a place it was a big passion of mine to create this kind of safe community for trainers who will be in the same boat. Not necessarily all struggling, but some days they might be. But those times when they were, they could actually say, "Do you know what? I need some help with this." And so I started to run those as one-day events. They became more popular, and then that morphed into me running quarterly, and then that morphed into a membership scheme. So it's all these things. They just kind of happened. I can honestly say I didn't. Apart from Trainer Talk, because I always had a big vision for that. But the rest of the pieces of my business, they all just sort of happened as things, as a result of things that were happening.
It sounds, Sharon, as if you were open to things, and you were creating the business around the time that you had available and your family needs.
Yeah.
And a lot of these things came up because you felt that you could just fit it in somewhere. I mean, I know from my own business, and my own business has changed over the years. And, I let go. I sold my online shop because that just didn't fit with me anymore. But when I take my boys to athletics training, I then have a 2-hour slot where I either have conversations with people, or I, do some website work or something like that. So it's not about having a 9-to-5 day. It's about finding the slots of time that work for you and your family. And I'm sure, I've spoken to swimming mums and dads as well, where they sort of sit on the side of a pool and they're answering emails and things. So, people are finding slots of time. It's not, and I think that's where parents who run their own businesses are probably, a bit more flexible. But it sounds like you created your business around that flexibility.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just such I can just remember doing that all the time, like literally, like coming back, as I say, in the morning, had about 3 hours to do stuff, and then I was in the car driving up to Edgbaston, and I would stay there literally all afternoon and early evening. I'd be in my car for a lot of the time with the laptop, with my sandwiches, with my tea, either trying to answer emails, trying to write, training program. I mean, one of the things that I used to do a lot, because my son used to, do a lot of tournaments, and and a bit later on down the line, when he went to Spain to the tennis academy, he was competing around the world internationally, and that's expensive. And I never ever wanted to say no to him if he wanted to do a tournament, or his coach said he needs to do this tournament. I never ever wanted to say, we haven't got the money to do that, I can't do it. So I quite often used to go, okay, well, how can I make that happen? Right, okay, right, I'll run a webinar, or I'll do this training program, or I'll do, and that led to, frantic activity on the laptop, working, so that I could basically, magic this money out of, so that he could go and do what he wanted to do,
Yeah. So Sharon, it's interesting because you're a few years ahead of me in terms of your children, where they're at, and you've also, you're a few years ahead of me in terms of the membership site that you've created, and the support network that you've put in place for your trainers, which is absolutely brilliant. As a trainer myself, I'm personally involved in your group, and it's really, really valuable to be able to share some of those things, because trainers do something really quite unique in their world. So it's wonderful to have that supportive group. So, you've been in business a long time, Sharon, and you've been a mum for a long time, and you've juggled both things, and you've grown. You've seen both things grow. So, what would be your tips for, again, you've got startup businesses in your group, and you're supporting startups, but you're also supporting people that have been in business for a long time. What are your tips for those people in terms of juggling their business growth around their growing family?
Right. Okay. And the first tip would be, it's not really a sort of practical tip in terms of managing your time, but it's more about your mindset around it. Because one of the things that I used to do quite a lot is I used to compare myself quite a lot to other people. So I would sort of see, particularly in the early days when, my business turnover was like really low. I mean, I could have earned more money at McDonald's in my first year. That's what I always said, So I used to compare myself all the time, and particularly because I was sort of doing, the majority of my business was online. So you'd see all these people online all the time, and they seemed to be doing, really well, and they had, this, that, the other. And I used to, really sort of despair about that. And I was working with one of my business mentors, actually said to me, how many hours a week do you actually work on your business?
Yeah.
And I counted it up, and I think it was about 20 at the time. If I added up, the 3 hours in the morning and the hour I might do in the afternoon, or a couple of hours in the evening, whatever, maybe sort of 15, 20, 25, depending. And she said to me, well, okay, well, you've got a part-time business then.
Yeah.
And I said, well, yeah, I suppose I have, if you look at it like that. And she said, so why are you comparing yourself to people who've got full-time businesses?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, yeah, okay, I get that. And she was saying, well, and what's your turnover been this year? And I was like, okay, whatever it was. I said, well, for a part-time business, that's actually really good.
Yeah.
And that kind of really reframed it for me. So I think if you are, that would be the first tip, is around your mindset. I mean, stop comparing yourself to other people. Just do what you can when you can. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you do things, as long as you do it. And also, kind of embrace the fact that you can do that.
Yeah.
There's been so many things over the years where, your kids have been ill, or you have to go to sports days, or, obviously I want to take my son to his tennis, and all that kind of stuff. And you just think, if I was in a proper job, I wouldn't be able to do this,
Yeah.
So the fact that I can is a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I might be sitting in the car on my laptop and trying to, grab a few hours here and there. But if you look at that as part of the bigger picture, that's a really good thing. So I think I've kind of really enjoyed it because it's enabled me to do what I've needed to do. And actually, it's really weird because for me, when Ryan was obviously in Spain, he was there since 2013. He went, and then in 2015, my daughter went off to university. So in September 2015 was the first time that I didn't have any children at home. And it was really funny because it was like all of a sudden I didn't have a part-time business anymore, and I didn't need to have one, and I could do exactly what I wanted. And I didn't know what to do with it. It was really weird. I've been so used to sort of feeling like I had to do the wheel and, and just doing all this thing. And I can probably honestly say it took probably 2 years to really adjust to it and really kind of step into that different mindset again. Because I think, when they do say that, what's that saying when they say stuff expands to fill the space available, to fill the time available?
Yeah.
That's what I had. Because all of a sudden I had all this time, I had all day, but I was probably getting half the amount of stuff done that I did when I had 3 hours in the morning, because when I had the 3 hours in the morning, I was so focused on what I had to do. I didn't have time to, going on Facebook or whatever. So I think, I think it's important to sort of embrace that, to see the fact that you only have 3 hours as a good thing, because you probably get loads of stuff, So that would be a tip. Another tip was obviously is give stuff to other people. Once you start doing that, once you start to take the first step into outsourcing, that's it. You're kind of hooked. I mean, that makes a massive, massive difference. And again, embrace that. I was talking actually to one of my clients last night, and she was saying about, oh no, I've got to do everything myself. And I said, why? Why do that? Because, that person can do stuff so much, quicker than you. And, I know there's always this fear around money. But again, you've got to embrace it, and you've got to see that as a positive. Because once you start outsourcing to other people, you are going to earn more money in your business. Yes, you're going to be a little bit, everyone's paying these people, but you're going to get much more effective. You're going to get more stuff done, and that means that you're going to actually make more money in your business.
Yeah.
So embrace it. Don't penny pinch. That's what I would say.
And I think that's really true, Sharon. And people, I think especially parent business owners, often feel it's hard to sort of let other people do things in the business and at home. I speak to people about, I need to get a cleaner in, but I'm not sure I can afford it. It's just like, get the cleaner in, get them to do the stuff, because then that's gone. You don't need to think about that. You don't need to worry about that. Yeah. And I think it is a bit about confidence, but it's about just allowing yourself to grow into your new roles in your business. And like you've done, is take each step one step at a time. And taking it one step at a time, and you will grow your family will continue to grow. You can't stop them from growing up, whatever they're doing, but your business will grow as well.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's really, again, it's what I meant about embracing it. I
Yes.
think we're so lucky these days to live in this world where the technology that we have enables us to because obviously I guess most people would be interested in watching this. They've got their own businesses, but they're a mum,
Yes.
they've got children, or they're a dad, and they're juggling their children.
Yeah.
But our life is made so much easier now by the fact that we have this technology. I mean, I couldn't have dreamed 10 years ago of having business that I do now, of doing everything pretty much online. I mean, I do everything. I mean, the only thing that I do now that isn't online is my 4 Train Sport Live days a year.
Yeah.
And the day that comes before that, which is my mastermind group with my Trainers Book ambassadors.
Yeah.
That's 8 days a year. Everything else is done at home, online. Now, I don't need to do that anymore because my children aren't here. So
yes.
I can go back to that old life of trolley running.
Yeah.
But I don't want to, because now it enables me to, spend all the time with my dog, being at home, not travelling, being able to watch the tennis when I want.
Yes.
Open at the moment, so I can just sort of dive into, laptop.
Exactly.
When and all that sort of stuff, and that's what having our own businesses enables us to do. So we should be positive about it. And it's the technology that we have is enabling us to create that. The possibilities are endless these days, aren't they?
But they are, and and it's amazing what we can do and what we can achieve as parents and as business owners. And you can juggle it all. It's not just about having your cake and eating it, because lots of people say, oh, you're so lucky to do this. Well, actually, it is hard work, but I've made a choice to do this. I've made a choice to not, to be around for my family. They've never been to, before school club or after school club. One of us has always been around. And now, if they need to get to a training session at 4:00, well, I can get them there for 4:00. I'll just juggle my week around it.
Well, because those times are, one of the things that I've realised is that, before Ryan went off to Spain, I used to travel all over the country with him, staying in hotels and all that kind of stuff. So I did all that up until the age of 14, and then went to Spain. And I really look back on those times with, there were such special times, and you don't get back. And so, and you can't, if you're sort of stuck heading your business and kind of almost like resenting the fact that your children are there, you're going to back in a few years' time when they are grown up and go, God, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I say that? So, I do think, it's really important. There was something else I was going to say then. It's gone out of my head. When you were saying about, that was it. It was about, another tip was about, embracing it, but letting your standards drop as well.
Oh, okay, yes.
I was reminded of that the other day because I was having some work done in the garden. We'd have this work planned for like ages and ages, and the weather had been really gorgeous. And of course, the day they came last, whatever it was, Thursday, it was torrential rain all day. And the mud, my dog kept going out there. She kept coming in. There was like muddy footprints everywhere. There was just mud in every conceivable place.
Yeah.
And the guy who was doing the dog work said, "Oh, what do you think about this? I'm really sorry about this." I said, "Do you know what?" I said, "I used to be really house proud. Before I had children, I would get up every Saturday morning and clean the house from top to bottom before I did anything.
Yeah.
And once I had children, I just realised I had to let my standards drop." What with, being out of the house, taking them here, there and everywhere, taxi service, working, having all that kind of stuff. If you don't let your standards drop, you're going to drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
So,
you're absolutely right.
You just have to
absolutely right.
Chill a bit, because otherwise, you drive yourself mad, wouldn't you? So.
Thank you so much, Sharon. We've come to the end. Well, we've actually run over time, but
sorry
no, I'm not surprised. It's been brilliant, and you haven't rambled at all. You've given us loads of really good tips, and shared your brilliant story. And I think it does give us confidence that it's okay to let your standards drop. You can't do everything, and if you want to create your own business around your family to give you that freedom to be with family as they're growing up and do the things that you want to do as a family. We feel, my husband and I, we feel really privileged that we're able to spend all this time with the boys.
Yeah.
And we have, weekends away for competitions and things as well, and not everybody gets to do that. So again, that freedom is lovely. But it does take time. And I love the way that you have just gone, well, it just sort of happened. And you did have that big leap of faith, and you've created something new around, what you wanted to do, and opportunities opened up for you, and you took action on them. And I think that's what a lot of people don't do. It's like, oh no, I can't do that because I'm concentrating on this at the moment. And you didn't do that. You took action on all of the opportunities that sort of opened up to you, and you've created this new, the new business. And even though your children have flown the nest now, you're still, creating new things to fill your time and do the things that you love and you want to do, while still supporting them in their, new lives elsewhere.
Yeah. Well, you say flown the nest, but as you and I, but I mean, that never happens. I mean, I've got one home at the moment, and because he's back from America, because he's at in America at university now doing tennis. But bizarrely, this afternoon it'd be like back to the old days, because I'm taking him up to Shrewsbury. He's going for a hitting session, so driving up to Shrewsbury, it literally will be like back to the old. It's going to be really nice. So
yes, yeah.
The other one.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was just saying the other one's coming back. University at the end of the month, and so she'll be back over about 3 months. So they never go, really, Tracy, do they?
No, they don't. And I was like that with my parents, I guess. So sort of backwards and forwards. So and we love them. We love them for that. So we wouldn't be without them, would we, Sharon?
Of course not. All right, then. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So I'll put the links for people to contact you directly if they've got a training business or a trainer. Sharon does have a wonderful supportive environment, or if you just want one of Sharon's courses, or to work with Sharon directly through the Trainers Training Company and Trainer Talk.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And it's wonderful to be able to share this with people. And a lot of people within the business cheerleading club just should be feel supported, that it's okay to feel, oh, what do I do now? But you just let something go and something else comes up. So thank you, Sharon. It's been brilliant. Thank you for your time.
Enjoy the rest of your half term.
Will do. Enjoy the tennis.
Will do. Take care.
Bye.